What is fluency? The International Literacy Association defines fluency as the ability to read with ease and accuracy. Research indicates that oral reading fluency is the ability to read text accurately, with sufficient speed and prosody. It is an essential component of reading because it permits the reader to focus on constructing meaning from the text rather than on decoding words. That's quite a bit to unpack in one definition. Let's take that apart and discuss what it means. Let's break this down into each part. Fluent readers can read text with ease and accuracy at a sufficient speed with prosody. Let's start with ease and accuracy. We don't expect ease and accuracy from early readers who are just learning to decode words and understand basic concepts of print. They are still struggling with each word they encounter. They are not very accurate, and they are not reading with ease. Eventually, students have a collection of sight vocabulary words to help them read grade-level text with accuracy. Sight vocabulary words are the words that a person can recognize and read quickly and automatically without the support of decoding. These words differ from student to student. When approaching a text, fluent readers are able to read grade-level text without laboring over each word. They may encounter unknown words, but these are few. There are many activities we can do to increase accuracy. Modeling during read aloud, both good and poor fluency, shared reading, paired reading, rereading text, word attack skills, and the use of word walls. At a sufficient speed. We often refer to this as rate. There has been a misconception about fluency and speed, that the faster a student reads, the more fluent the reader is. This just isn't so. We have students who read through a passage sounding much like an auctioneer, without any expression or even understanding what is being read. That is not fluency. Sufficient speed means the student reads at a natural pace, a speed similar to a spoken conversation, without illogical pauses. It also means students are able to use parsing and phrasing to logically group words together in sentences. When we read, we automatically group words together in sentences, even when commas are not needed in the sentence. Let's look at an example. If I read this with a logical pause, I would read it this way. The dog was outside the house, chasing a cat across the street. Students with illogical phrasing may read it this way. The dog was outside the house chasing a cat across the street. That second reading shows illogical groupings of words and makes the sentence sound confusing. This may indicate the student is still reading word by word or doesn't understand the overall meaning of the sentence. These pauses might also be an accuracy issue if the students are pausing before unknown words. In order to show where students parse or phrase groups of words, teachers may put a slash to indicate pauses. Then after the reading, the teacher can say, "I noticed you paused before this word. Can you tell me why?" The answer will determine the coaching you provide your student. Some educators characterize unnatural pauses with prosody instead of rate, and that makes sense too. We will talk more about prosody in a minute. When we teach rate, we ask students to use different strategies: punctuation, grouping words that make sense, moving from one line to the next, looking ahead during reading. Overall, we want students to read at a conversational speed without unnatural pauses. We want students to smooth out their reading. With prosody or expression. Prosody is reading with changing intonation to give meaning to the text. Expression gives emotion. The opposite of prosody is robotic reading. We've all heard students read in monotonous tones and staccato rhythm. We want a student's reading to sound like conversation. Prosody depends on Genre. Different genres call for different emotions and expressions. Characters and narrators. Vocabulary words that tell us mood or expression. Punctuation that indicates questions, statements, exclamations, and who is speaking. Text features such as bold, italics, underlines, and all caps. Jennifer Saravallo recommends one-to-one conferencing to provide students with specific strategies for improving fluency. During these conferences, we listen to students read, diagnose specific areas of need, and provide coaching. We may use anchor charts or cards for instruction, and students walk away with goals for improvement. Overall, research indicates a connection between fluency and comprehension. According to Rosinski, comprehension and fluency go hand in hand. We can increase reading comprehension by practicing fluency, and we can observe evidence of comprehension when we hear students read aloud. However, Jennifer Saravallo cautions against relying too heavily on fluency as a measurement to comprehension. In her book, The Reading Strategies Book, she states, "There are exceptions to this rule of fluency and comprehension being inextricably linked. Have you ever met that child who reads a text sounding like he is reading lines for a Broadway audition only to stop? Be asked a simple question about what he just read and have him tell you he doesn't remember a thing? It's important that in our attempts to teach children to read fluently, we don't send the message that reading is just about performing." That means we still need to assess other areas of reading, such as comprehension and vocabulary.